Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, of course, and grandmothers and grandfathers, or if you prefer, mops and pops, welcome to the 2020 Valley Baseball League season. Hello, everyone. My name is Graham Knight. Yes, I know that 2020 will be forever remembered as the season without baseball. And I'm sorry about that. But that doesn't mean we still don't have things to do. What do fishermen and women do when they can't fish? They mend their nets. So we're going to spend this season of 2020 mending our baseball nets. Over the course of the next 4 months, we're going to bring you some video podcasts. We'll introduce you to the people behind the scenes of all 11 teams in the league, and we'll introduce you to the league representatives as well. After that, we're going to dial into the great moments and the great players from this league. We'll talk about the moments and we'll meet some of the great players as well. When our season was set to start May 29th, we'll bring you the best 42 games from last year, including the playoffs and championships. If you'd like to follow along, I highly encourage you to go to allthingsvalleyleague.com, that's allthingsvalleyleague.com, and purchase John Leonard's 2019 annual. It's $10 for 85,000 words, 265 pages of great information on the 2019 season. But we're not going to focus just on 2019. We're going to focus on the history of the league. So we're going to start off our inaugural podcast. It's day one of the 2020 season. We're going to start off with a conversation between Bruce Alger and Jeremy Huber. Bruce is the commissioner and president of the Valley Baseball League, and he's also president of the Winchester Royals. Take a moment now and give a listen to this conversation between Jeremy Huber and Bruce Alger.
Hello and welcome to our inaugural VBL podcast. I'm Jeremy Huber, voice of the Purcellville Cannons, and we're joined by the guy in the VBL. It's Bruce Alger, the commissioner of the league. Bruce, thank you so much for taking some time today.
My pleasure, Jeremy. Glad to be here.
And of course, we got to start right off. Earlier this week, a cancellation by the VBL for the season due to the coronavirus pandemic. Obviously, sports leagues around the world shutting down. Tell us a little bit about what you can about the decision and how quickly it was made.
Well, it was made pretty quickly, but it didn't gain a whole lot of momentum until last Tuesday when the governor put the mandate of June 10th out there for everyone in the state of Virginia. So at that point, the executive committee, we started talking, phoning one another, emailing, texting, a lot of communication. So we thought maybe that we needed to get together and meet because with the June 10th being the mandate, we couldn't have players show up until then. They would have to practice at least a week, 10 days before we start the season. So at that point, we're in the third week in June, and 40% of our season would have been lost. So we felt like we needed to talk about that as a committee. But before we met, I emailed all of the clubs and asked them to give me their opinions, their concerns, anything that they would like for me to bring to the executive committee on behalf of their organizations. And every team responded, either verbally or through email. So once I got the information, I forwarded it all to the members of the executive committee. And we had a conference call on Thursday evening at 6 o'clock and covered all of the correspondence we had received, talked among ourselves, and the conclusion was unanimous. We just felt it was too big of a risk for us moving forward to bring a player in that might have been infected and not know it, because we had signed at almost 400 players as a league at that point. And also the other concern is host families. Has any of our host families been infected that we don't know about? So it's a double-edged sword. A lot of what it caused a lot of stress for me throughout the league, knowing that we had this many people coming in that we don't know. Host families, we started to feel like we were going to lose some of them for obvious reasons. And even some of the players' parents were thinking, geez, maybe I don't want to send my son somewhere that I don't even know the folks that he's staying with. So it was pretty obvious that the right decision for us to make, even though it was very, very difficult for us, the right decision to make was to cancel the season. And even looking as far as our sponsors, Jeremy, we've had loyal sponsors for years in the league, and we just didn't feel like it was it would look good on our behalf to let them funnel their money to their companies, to their employees, to their communities, to help people get more hours of work, to maybe help the unemployment, rather than paying us money to put a sign on the outfield fence or to sponsor a game. Just felt like it would look selfish on our part to continue to try to do that. So, I was always told as I was growing up that character and integrity isn't something that's made during a crisis. It's something that's revealed during a crisis. And I think the true character and integrity of the league was cemented by the fact that we made this move, and we made it early. So if these players have a chance to go somewhere else in the country to play, maybe some states aren't as restricted as we are here in Virginia. If they have the opportunity to play, we want them to be able to do that. So we want to release those guys and put ourselves at rest, put an end to the talk and the worry and what are we going to do and when are we going to do it. We thought it best to just go ahead and cancel and start making preparations for 2021. And in talking with Major League Baseball yesterday morning, they were disappointed, as we are, that we had to make the decision, but they commended us for it and support us 100% moving forward.
Yeah,
as
and
CSB.
Yeah, Bruce, and as you mentioned, MLB themselves, they're kind of in a holding pattern right now, not exactly knowing when they'll be able to take the field, if at all, this year. So obviously they have to be understanding. You mentioned the fact that you guys are kind of now focusing on 2021. Is that more of a tweaks type thing, a way maybe to make the league better, make things smoother, and maybe because there's so many guys who aren't focused on being on the field this year, do you think maybe some good ideas maybe can come out of this to make the Valley League even better?
Oh, I think so. We've never had a summer where we weren't busy every night doing something. And it's not only an evening job when the games are being played, but the volunteers and administrative staffs of the different ball clubs, most have worked during the day, rush out at night to a ball game, and it just goes on and on and on. 42 games in 50 nights. You know what that scenario is like. So this frees us up to maybe make improvements in our ballpark. To step back and take a look at our organization and see what we can do moving forward, making changes. I know here at Rebel Park in Newmarket, we want to rebuild our outfield fence. And we were forced to maybe try to do that in the fall in the cold weather and what have you. Now maybe we'll be able to have a chance to do that this summer. So we can make improvements not only in the physical aspects of our ballparks, but some changes too, and maybe rethinking how we approach our sponsorships and our advertising and those sorts of things. How we can work together better as a league to form that Valley Baseball League family that I'm striving for. So as we move forward, we can put ourselves in better position, to do some greater things. Last year we were rated the 7th best summer collegiate baseball league in the country out of 80 some different leagues, but 7th isn't good enough for us. Yeah, we want to shoot for number 1, and this will give us the time to step back, reflect a little bit, and make some positive changes, help each other out wherever we can. So I'm looking forward to doing that.
Hey, I want to take a minute to encourage you to subscribe, like, and share us. By subscribing to our YouTube channel, you'll be notified each time we post new content. By the way, we will be posting every day at game time. That's 7 p.m. Eastern. So expect for the next 4 months to see new content from us every night, 7 p.m. on our YouTube channel. Like us and share us on all your favorite Facebook pages, and please write us back. We'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to email us, you can email us at VB League, Valley Baseball League. It's just VB League at isomermedia.com. That's ISOMERMEDIA, VB League at isomermedia.com. You can also message us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever works for you. We'd love to hear from you. If you've got ideas for things you want us to cover, or you've got questions, or you've got a point you'd like to make, we encourage your feedback. This is, after all, a two-way conversation. And like I said, please, please, please consider getting John Leonard's 2019 Valley Baseball League Annual. Some great information in there. We're going to be focusing hard on the 2019 season. We'd love to have you follow along. $10 for 85,000 words, 265 pages. No matter how you slice it, it's a deal. All right, enough out of me for now. Let's get back to the conversation between Jeremy Huber and Bruce Alger.
Bruce, this is a question after me doing 4 years of Valley baseball. And the reason I ask it is because I know the majors have actually toyed with this idea with 7-inning doubleheaders and kind of going that route because they're worried about arms. And we know at this point, youth pitching arms are almost like gold right now. The colleges have to treat those guys so carefully. Has there ever been a discussion about a possibility of maybe instituting more 7-inning games in the Valley? Something, again, maybe conserving pitching while still putting out a good product on the field. I've heard that Major League Baseball doesn't want to do that. They want it to be those 9-inning games. But since they were actually able to broach the topic, is that something that the Valley might actually consider at some point if Major League Baseball gave its blessing?
Well, the Major League Baseball representative, that we talked to in the NACSB, Chuck Fox, he's a fantastic fellow, wonderful, wonderful gentleman. And he had asked each of us during the grant process the last 2 years if we would consider 7-inning games. And across the NACSB, the answer was unanimously no, we don't want to do that. And the reason we don't want to do that, it's not so much with the pitching. I mean, we've got pitching guidelines. Everybody follows those. And last year we made great strides because we had absolutely zero pitch count violations in the league, which that's astronomical because we had, I think, 5 the year before. But we're doing our job and taking care of the pitching. So the real reason then moves to the financial aspect for each of the organizations. Each one of our teams needs to have every one of their 21 nights for financial reasons, gates, receipts, concessions, souvenirs, whatever the case may be. And that's something that, we talk about it very often, almost annually in our Valley League meetings. Teams can do doubleheaders. I know Covington likes to do some because they're so far away from everybody else. And that's okay if they want to do individual doubleheaders. But to do it league-wide with an 11-team league, that's pretty difficult to do because the schedule's already unbalanced. So, but if they want to do it, they certainly have our permission to.
Bruce, you mentioned the 11 teams in the league, and I know this always comes up, and I know all Valley fans seem to want to know this. We're going to ask you, we got you on the spot. Is there any movement on a possibility of getting back to an even number of teams in the Valley?
Well, we have 11, and we certainly don't want to lose any of those 11. We haven't had too many requests to expand the league. We did have one this year from a gentleman in Alabama, I believe. He was in Alabama. He's a high school football coach and inquired about expanding the league to add another team or to take over ownership of one of the existing teams. But so we haven't had time to research that. I just got that email last week. So yeah, we'll look at it and reach out to him, but not sure where that's going to go. The ideal, Jeremy, the ideal number of teams for the league is 10. That's the ideal number. But if we can get that 12th team, we'll certainly do that.
Bruce, one last one, we'll let you go. Is there any final message for you to all those great Valley League fans who obviously are just disappointed but understand the move you guys made this week?
Well, we're very, very sorry that we had to do this, but I think everybody understands the reasons why. And I think that, actually all of the emails and text messages and phone calls I've got have all been in support of the decision that we made. I know it's disappointing. I don't know what I'm going to do all summer long, but I've encouraged everybody to spend time with their loved ones, with their families, something that they haven't been able to do in the summertime for a long, long time. So take advantage of this time. Let's think about what we can do to get better moving forward. And hopefully, we can do some of these podcasts. We can maybe replay some of last year's games to keep the folks interested. And we just pray for the safety of everyone involved, our fans, our sponsors, our teams, our administration, players, coaches, and everyone. We just want everyone to be safe, and we'll get through this. And we look forward to 2021. It's going to be one bang-up year for us, Jeremy.
We all do. Bruce Alger, Commissioner of the Valley Baseball League, thank you so much for joining us today here on the VBL podcast.
Thank you, Jeremy. Let's do it again.
So that does it for our first inaugural video podcast for the Valley Baseball League 2020 season. Tune in tomorrow night at game time, that's 7 p.m. Eastern, for our second edition of the Valley Baseball League podcast. Jeremy Huber has a conversation with Brett Fuller. Brett is the owner and operator of the Purcellville Cannons. Just a little programming note, for the next 11 or 12 days or so, we're going to work our way through the league, and we're going to talk to representatives from from the league as well as the teams and get a perspective from each of them. Then we'll start to bring you some information about the great moments and great plays throughout the Valley League. So that's going to wrap it up for us tonight. On behalf of the league and the teams in this league, we want to wish you all perfect health and a speedy return to the baseball diamond, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. For the Valley Baseball League, I'm Graham Knight. Thank you for joining us. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at 7.